Well, good morning, everybody. It's September the 17th, 2015, and the day we have all been waiting for. The September FOMC announcement has finally arrived, and the market is split. Pundits are about 50-50 on whether the Fed will raise interest rates or not. The markets are saying there's a 30% probability that they will raise interest rates today. So we're going to get our answer at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then it'll be followed by a press conference with Janet Yellen leading it, and that can create whipsaws too. So the 2 o'clock until Yellen gets through, we'll have a reaction to whatever the Fed does one way or the other. And then at 2:30 there could be another action or whipsaw, depending on what Yellen says. Most people think the rate increase, or the markets say the rate increase comes no sooner than December. So right now we're going to play for a no rate increase today. Because the financials have been heavily sold into this announcement, the trade with the most potential is a long into the news announcement, finding a place to get long today. That doesn't mean that's the correct trade for the day or that's actually what's going to happen, but if markets sell down into a major news announcement, that announcement has been discounted by the market makers. They're willing to do business at this level no matter what the Fed says or whatever the news announcement is, and usually they're pretty astute. Everybody sold it down or bought it up into the news announcement. They're on the other side, and it's easiest for the market to trade opposite that move into the announcement. So that's where we find ourselves today. My guess is we got ourselves a trading range with resistance definitely at 28. So this 24, 28 area will be our first sell zone. I'd like to get it done closer to 28 like we had yesterday, to the 27 level. We got a high of 24.5, so the trade is 23 to 27. That's where resistance is, then 31 to 03. On the buy side, I still kind of like 13 to 17 where we were last night. Don't see any reason to change that. And then 5 to 9. Okay, today's news, housing starts. And you know, the housing news has been mixed, but because the home builders are so optimistic right now, and because they can get loans from the banks, the lenders, that number could come in higher than forecast. This is 1.68. Permits are 1.160. Jobless claims 275. That's the default number. I don't think a lot of people pay a lot of attention to that when there's other news. If that's all the news we have, then they will pay attention to it. Current balance minus 113 billion. That's putting that on an annualized basis. That's about 1.3 trillion dollars if it goes that way. If it were to go that way for a year. Philly Fed. This number now is forecast at 6.3. Philly Fed and the New York Empire Index manufacturing survey don't correlate very well. My guess is this number will be lower than forecast just because of the slowdown that we're seeing. Net gas inventories 70 BCF. And FOMC, markets say unchanged. And then the press conference, people will be looking for hints as to what the Fed will do. And my guess is they're concerned about world trade, the world's economy, what's going on in China, the rest of the world. Inflation's a little bit low right now. The economy is coming back. The employment situation is getting better. The economy has enough slack in it that it can absorb an interest rate increase, but not today. So that's how I believe it will play out today, and we'll see if that actually happens. Large institutions are sidelines on days like today. They are long-term players. Their investment guidelines are chiseled in stone. They're almost always long players. and they sit on the sidelines and they wait and see what's going to happen, and then that tells them within their investment strategy which securities to buy. So the markets will be governed by traders into that announcement, and stock players are saying that there is no interest rate increase tomorrow. Looking at the 30-year, this one has been heavily sold, so I think we got a chance to trade. Now resistance is at 12 to 16, so I think we're probably going to trade higher, but that is resistance, and then I'm going to put it 23, 27 to give us some room, because this is oversold and the knob spread's expanding. But this is where resistance is right now, and if we can't get through 16, then a short is appropriate. But I think we got a pretty good chance to take that out. On the buy side, I like it today, kind of like last night, because it's been oversold. Last night we were hoping to buy 21s to 25s. The low was 29, so it came in above where we were. Then we'll drop the second buy to 17 to 21. Gold's off a little bit, where it was at 5 this morning. Let's see where it is right now. And I still don't have a pretty good feel on why the strong rally yesterday in gold. We had a sell last night at 21 to 23. The high was 22.90, 22.50. So that was right in our sell band. You had an opportunity in Asia to get that short off. We're selling right now, so we've got this breakout from 12. And we got this triple bottom right here, and we got this single print right there at 14. So let's go for 10 to 12 on the buy side. And then 5 to 7. On the sell side, 19 to 21, and then 24 to 26. And like I said, I'm not comfortable with why the market did what it did yesterday. I mean, short covering makes sense, but beyond that, I don't know. Okay, the euro rallied some more, held yesterday's gains. The closing price held, went up. We got up to that area that we had highlighted, 13.50, and we had our number 2 sell started at 50 on that market, and it looks like we got stops above 50. So that's where we are right now. Sell 1 will be 50 to 60. Then sell 2 will be 90 to the buck. And I mean, the FOMC announcement, you just really have to open this up pretty wide. We're going to play for a trading range into it, so 13, 13, 10 buy 1, pretty tight, and then 12.50 for buy 2. So this market, the currency traders are saying they don't believe the Fed will raise interest rates today. Crude sold overnight, and yeah, it's interesting from a war standpoint. When we get a new flare-up somewhere, crude will rally, but then it quiets down pretty quickly. And so the Saudi invasion of Yemen brought in an oil spike. All this stuff going on, Russia moving into Syria, isn't really causing much disruption in the market because it's an old war. It's been going on for a long time. Iran coming back to the oil market. Iran price quotes, that's new. Does cause a reaction. So right now the status quo in the Middle East is that they're shooting each other from Mali all the way to the Indian-Pakistani border. And East Africa is no different than it has been. So it takes a new piece of news to bring in the drumbeat of war rally. So 47s, 46.85 I think is kind of that key point. So we've got 46.75 testing that low. 46.50 will be buy one. And then 46 even, 45.75 buy two on the idea that the top is in for a bit. 47.50, 47.75 sell one. And 48, 48 and a quarter sell two. And the breakout came from this 46.25 area right here. And you can see that retest right there in that E period low. So we're coming in this area right here. That's where we see support. We'll see if it holds up. We're leaning against that with our 46.50 buy. Okay, the E-mini is holding up pretty well. Really, nothing went on overnight. The equity markets around the globe. Japan was up, China was off. All that massive intervention that China's doing. When they do it into the close, yes, it changes things and can change things, but the trend of that market is still lower. Europe was up outside of the UK. The FTSE was down. So Europe collectively is up 0.31. Asia, because of the selling in Hong Kong and China, is off 1.18. And when I looked this morning, last I looked at the E-mini, it was off $1.50, 1.5 points, which isn't very much. And you can see how quiet the markets are. So I think we got a trading range. We probably have a seller into 90. So stops above the overnight session would take us into that area. So 90.91 will be sell one. Then 95 to 2000 will be sell two. On the buy side, we took it up from 75. We're at 82. So try to be on the cheap. 75, 77 buy one. And buy two, 65 to 70. And so 1980 minus market, 1990 plus is where I see us into the announcement. Okay, it'll take a bit to get everything up and posted. Going to get busy on that. Be back with you as soon as possible.